Today I fucked up by remotely logging into parents' PC at the wrong time. Like a lot of aging parents, mine have a limited knowledge of technology beyond smartphones. I recently built them a new PC and installed a Plex server. My mother loves to give me lists of movies for downloading and she marvels at how I can log in from anywhere to help. So today I woke up early, made a coffee, jumped on my home PC and decided my first task was to set up a few downloads for mum. Now I know dad gets up in the morning as his body clock is stuck on 30+ years of early starts, but very rarely have I ever logged in with TeamViewer and disturbed him using the PC. Today I did just that. I double-clicked on their PC in my list, took a sip of my coffee and was greeted with extreme sounds of sex moaning and ball slapping. Volume on my speakers was quite loud. It caught me by surprise, as I clambered to turn it down whilst spilling my coffee everywhere. I raced my cursor to the disconnect button as the sight of a hardcore gangbang filled my screen. Hopefully dad would be too distracted to notice. As I moved the cursor quickly to the X, the cursor moved back to the middle of the screen. Shit, he noticed and reached for the mouse as well. I quickly closed the connection, sat back in my chair and realized that I had just busted my father watching hardcore porn. Now I know where I get that from. Thanks dad. Too long didn't read. I used TeamViewer to remote into my parents' PC and busted my dad watching hardcore porn. Update, I have not confronted dad, but my brother and I were discussing this morning's events over a few ales tonight. Halfway through reading these comments, my brother started pissing himself laughing out of nowhere. Turns out dad is actually off work for 2 weeks for damaged tendons in his hand. That was it. Hell. I fucking lost it. Smiley face, smiley face, smiley face. The nut doesn't fall far from the PC. My stepdad had the same sort of system set up on my school laptop as a kid. It's a bit awkward watching the mouse move to close the window mid-wank and have your laptop shut down at 10:30 p.m. and then have to look him in the eyes in the morning. OMG, I am dying. Lamau, ha ha ha. How did you feel about this growing up? Did this happen multiple times? Was there ever a conversation? I need details. You've done it, now it is your turn to give him the talk about the birds and the bees. The cycle has complete. Ouroboros has eaten his tail and now you are the father, huzzah. Just be glad you didn't turn the webcam on and have the image of your father fapping carved on your brain. Plot twist, it was Ops mom. Plot twist, it was both of them. Getting ready to get it on. Today I fucked up by reading my grandpa. The today I fucked up about a boyfriend reading his girlfriend. The today I fucked up about a mother telling her child that Bob Ross is dead. This might be the most cursed thing to ever happen to me. So after reading the original Today I Fucked Up and the one after where people lose their shit upon learning about Bob Ross' death, I thought it would be a great idea to tell my grandpa about these two stories to make him laugh. Luckily, he had known about his death already, and he started busting out laughing. Then as I got up to tell grandma, he stopped dead in his tracks and sternly told me never to tell grandma that story. Visibly concerned, I asked him why not. He then went on to confess how many times he's cheated on his wife, using the excuse that he'd been hanging out with Bob Ross for painting lessons. Only problem is that he'd been dead for about 2 years the last time he pulled this on her. Let's just say I see my grandpops in an entirely different light now. He did compensate me with $50, but I definitely deserve a lot more for that kind of mental scarring. Too long didn't read. Told my grandpa a Reddit story, found out he's a dirty cheater. Came out $50 richer, would not do it again. People are saying they would like to tell their close ones about these stories. To that I say, more power to you. I just hope you don't ruin someone's day, or your own. If my husband claimed he was hanging out painting with Bob Ross, I definitely want some proof. Maybe I should tell grandma about this, but I don't know what repercussions may arise from that. Today I fucked up by reading this post's title. How far can this Today I Fucked Up chain go? I pray nobody else continues this chain. Nothing good comes from it. This whole sub is fiction at this point. Are y'all actually serious? How on earth does anyone believe this actually happened? Thank fuck. This reads like a bad joke. There isn't even a fuck up in the story. Today I fucked up. No, you don't understand. They are nice swastikas. Background: my wife is Hindu, born in New Delhi but moved to the UK when she was 9, but also the swastika is a religious symbol for Hindus. Story: on Diwali, a Hindu religious holiday, she put swastika symbols above door frames within the house, along with an image of the god her family worship, hoping to bring prosperity for the next year. So last Diwali, a Jamaican work colleague came to my home to pick up a mountain bike she wanted to borrow for her son, who needed it to go on a school trip. When she arrived, I asked her if she wanted to come in for a drink, tea/coffee, which is normal to do in the UK. When she walked into the house, she suddenly looked terrified and started to talk fast like she was nervous. It didn't click to me why all of a sudden she left without the bike or a cup of tea. Text her to ask if she was okay but got no response. 30 minutes after she left, it clicked. Imagine what she must have thought entering the home of her 205 feet 10 inches white, bald, tattooed work colleague, who she knows boxes, and seeing his house full of swastikas. All while he's smiling at her and asking her if she wants a drink. Not sinister at all. In hindsight, I should have given her a warning of what to expect when she got there. Aftermath: can I just say that the next day at work was awkward? Edit, spelling. Edit 2, because you're all asking for what happened next, here it is. I sent her a text a few hours later to explain that what she seen in the house was due to my wife's Diwali celebration and we were not celebrating Nazi Christmas. I explained the difference between the symbol in my house and the Nazi symbol. When I eventually talked to her the next day, she said she understood but went to her neighbor, who is Muslim and from Pakistan, who confirmed what I said. He also checked Google, so she did understand. She now calls me her little Joseph, as in Goebbels, as a term of endearment and because she has a wicked sense of humor. There seem to be a lot of people taking my post too seriously. It's a funny thing that happened to me and I'm sharing it to give you all a laugh. Just because you know the difference between the Indian and Nazi symbol does not mean everyone else does. And my colleague definitely didn't. I guess what I'm trying to say is, my story isn't a dick, so there's no need to take it so hard. DL Dr. Jamaican work colleague walks into my house full of swastikas. Lol, I have a Japanese Buddhist friend, like literally born and raised and still lives in Japan, who has a swastika tattooed on his arm because it's an important symbol in Buddhism as well. I think the Buddhist one is reversed direction than the Nazi one, but when I first saw it while he was visiting America, I freaked out a bit since that's an awkward one to explain. I believe that the Germans reversed the sign, so the Indian one should match the Buddhist one. Fucking Nazis ruined a bunch of shit. Fuckers. What's worse is that the real Aryan culture was an ancient culture in the general area of the Indian subcontinent and wasn't even white people. In those days, not even people on the British Isles were white. Unless you're some rural Oklahoma dork who feels Jesus and Mary must have been white people when they weren't. The Nazis falsified a lot of formerly valid historical information to suit their dishonest purposes. We really want to hear about the aftermath. Did she believe you? TIFU swastikas were supposed to be a symbol of spirituality until the Nazis used them and turned them into a twisted form of propaganda, and now thanks to them, about today I fucked up symbol has been ruined and tainted, and a lot of people don't know about the history of the swastika before the Nazis used them. Yeah, it's a peace symbol for Buddhists. I see them on some temples in Singapore. The Nazi one is the reflected one, but I doubt anyone can spot the difference. When I first saw the symbol though, the peace one, I wonder what was it like inverted. Used to dawdle swastikas on paper and OFC throwing them away later. Didn't know the Nazi one until much later. I wonder what about if people were to come from the mirror dimension and see our temples with the symbol. When I was traveling around Indonesia, seeing swastikas really threw me off too.